Welcome to Friday's Live. It is actually 7:51 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so I really do apologize for being late. I'm so sorry. To be completely honest, I actually forgot about the live. I'm running a vending machine business and I was just busy with it the entire morning and I've got some things tomorrow that I was thinking about as well that I honestly forgot about the live, and I apologize about that. I just realized that now as I got home that that I'd missed the live, and I was wondering, if I should I uh, do a live because I'm already late and I'm not planning to do a long one, maybe 10-15 minutes, and I thought maybe I should just skip today. And I decided against it. I thought, you know what, I'm going to do it, even if it's 10-15 minutes. I need to keep up that momentum. And that's really what this me doing the live now is actually a prime example of today's topic, which is be a better money manager. And a big part of that is having discipline, making that change and sticking with it. And if you stick with it for a long period of time, you build up that momentum and you develop a habit. So through repetition is where a habit is developed. And then over a period of time, usually weeks, months, and sometimes even years, that habit really becomes entrenched in you and you become conditioned to be a saver, to be a good money manager, to pay off your debt, and to eventually have a significant savings account. So that's really what's important to be a great money manager. And, one of the things momentum is so crucial. I actually spoke about this in another live, is I compared it to my writing. I write my book every single day. I write nonfiction and fiction, mostly fiction. So I'm writing a romance novel at the moment. And I made a commitment to write that book every single day because I want to keep up that momentum. I want to when I start the book, I want to finish it because I've written it every single day. And what used to happen in the past, if I skipped a day, the second day, when I think about coming back to write the book, I start to think of excuses. I took yesterday off. Let me just take today off as well. What's 2 days? And then I take that second day off. And then next thing I know, 2 weeks have gone by and I haven't written a single word in that book. Then when I want to get back into it, it's so much more difficult. I feel like a rusted locomotive where it's like it starts to kind of move and it's rusted and needs to be oiled and really polished well. But then after that, it's difficult to get back into it. But once I start writing, it gets easier. And then that second day that I've come back to it, the locomotive is now gaining some momentum. And then the third day, it's completely on its way. It's running at full steam ahead. But you don't want to lose that momentum because of what happens when you lose that momentum. And this is so applicable to finances. If you make that commitment to reduce your expenses so that you can pay off your debt, so that you've got money at the end of the month, more money, you make that commitment and you need to stick with it every single day, every single week, every single month, because first of all, you want to keep that momentum. But more importantly, you want to condition yourself to be a saver. That's really what it's about. Because now at the moment, you're most likely a spender. If you've got debt, if you don't have savings, you're a spender. How do I know that? Well, all I need to ask you is two simple questions. Do you have debt? Do you have savings? And if you don't have any savings and you've got debt, well, you're a spender and you need to change your habits. So to have that long-lasting solution, to improve your finances, you obviously need to condition yourself to be a saver. And that's really something that you become over time through discipline, through the momentum, through saving money, reducing your expenses. And then once you become a saver, you'll notice that you've paid off your debt much quicker than you thought you would. And now you've got some significant savings, and you're considering how to use that savings to grow it, and you start thinking about investment. So it's really going to be up to you to improve your finances. It's not, I understand you saying it's inflation, it's the government, it's my boss, it's that, it's this. At the end of the day, the one thing I understand that it's difficult to have control over your income because you can be laid off. Your boss can now just all of a sudden decide to reduce your salary. The revenue that you thought you were going to make in the business isn't happening. The one thing that you have complete control over right now, something that you can implement, is to reduce your expenses. And that is something that can start right now, can be very effective, and can last for as long as you want it, as long as you decide. That's how long it's going to last, or as long as you decide. How long is it going to take for you to pay off your debt? It depends on how much you're going to reduce your expenses by. What expenses you're going to reduce? Are you going to eliminate all of your non-essentials and only have the essential expenses? And even the essentials, reduce them as much as possible. That's what's going to determine the time frame of you repaying your debt. So once again, you're going to decide that. Because you've got control over your expenses. You don't need to be going on vacation. You don't need to be buying new shoes when you've already got 2 or 3 pairs. You need to cut back. And that's a decision that you make. It's completely up to you. Once you make that decision, you stick with it. Once I made the decision to get out of debt, I went to the extreme. I was minimalist like you wouldn't believe. And I still am, even though it's been almost 2 years that I've been completely debt-free and I have significant savings. I have absolutely no inclination of getting back into debt or buying something that is not going to grow my savings or help me to invest and grow my money. Yes, sure, I'll sometimes need a shirt, I'll sometimes need jeans, but I mean, first of all, I'm going to pay cash. I'm not going to put it on a credit card. And I'm going to look for the best alternative, not the most expensive, not the biggest brand or whatever. I'm going to look for jeans that are decent quality and don't cost a lot. Excuse me. So that's what I did, and I kept up that momentum for several years. It took me about 6-7 years to pay off my debt, and during that period, I was also eventually able to get into savings. And then now remember, to build up that significant, the most difficult part about getting into debt is going from that negative balance to zero. Once you get to zero and then from there, go to the significant amounts of savings, that part is much easier because when you were in negative, you were paying off your debts. So that was the grueling part, and that felt like it took forever. But once you got to zero, meaning you were debt-free, all of those payments that you had for debt is now what's going into savings. That income is now staying in your account and you're putting into a high-yield savings account. So this part from zero to growing your savings is much faster than this difficult part when you're in negative. Keep that in mind because that, I think, is very important to kind of motivate you on your journey to being debt-free and to building your savings account. So yeah, that's why the debt part took me several years, and then the significant savings was maybe like a year and a half, because I was saving 80-90% of my salary. Can you believe it? because I didn't have these debt payments. That's how you have money. You get rid of debt, so you no longer have these payments. That's what it really comes down to. So I'm gonna end it there. You know, on Mondays I'll live stream. I'm almost certain that it's going to be at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll do an article that I'll read from finishfirstfinancially.com. Obviously, everything I say isn't investment or financial advice. This is purely for entertainment purposes. You know, I just mention what I would do, and if people think that's valuable, then that's up to them to use it or not. And I'll catch you on Monday. Have a good weekend. We will talk finances on Monday, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.